Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. You guys know I am your host, SABRINA-SEOUL, and tonight we have Ready to Love fan interview with the amazing, handsome, what did When in Rome in the chat say? The sexy chocolate, Mr. Anthony himself. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Anthony, for being here with me tonight. I know you have a busy schedule. I know you do. So I am so grateful and honored that you took the time to speak with me this evening. I
No,
appreciate
I appreciate you for having me. I actually just jumped off an interview. I'm like, yo, I can't be late for yours. Like I've been waiting for this all season, so I had to make it happen.
I've seen you in the chat too. Like you used to pop in and I used to be like, that's Anthony. I appreciate the
Definitely.
support. Yeah, I appreciate the support. I never thought that I would have the opportunity like to actually talk to you like this. So I am definitely honored to be able to speak with you. You were absolutely one of my favorites on the show. So this is pretty amazing for me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, and just to let you know that some of the questions, not some, but some of all the questions I'm going to be asking are you guys' questions that I've seen that you have sent to me. And also, too, if you did not get a chance to send me questions in my DMs or inbox or in the comment sections, if you want to ask Anthony any questions tonight, definitely put them in the chat, but they're going to have to be super chats in order for me to bring them on the screen and for me to ask Anthony. But other than that, you guys know I like to jump right into it. This is not like one of the interviews where, I'm getting deep down into their history and where they were from, etc. The questions that I'm just going to start off are just going to be questions that you guys have been asking all season long and you want the real deal answers to. And Anthony's going to be here to give them. And just to let you know, Anthony, if I ask you anything, and if you are uncomfortable with anything that I ask you, you could be like, pass, you do not have to answer. But they're pretty like good questions. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
no worries. All right, so let's get started. I gotta put my glasses on because we about to get serious. You know what I'm saying? All right, so during the show, a lot of the viewers and fans were saying, why isn't Anthony being aggressive? Like, why isn't he like going after the girls? So what was the reason why especially in the beginning, we didn't really see you kind of going after them? What was the reasons why you were not that aggressive towards the women in pursuing them in the beginning of the show?
So I always tell people, I kind of was a bench player, so to say, because I wasn't as aggressive as the other men. I don't move in an aggressive way. I'm not out here selling dreams. Like I couldn't even believe I was on the show, to be honest with you. So me coming into it, um, I was aggressive and I was assertive with the woman that I needed to be with.
Mhm.
So from day one, I had a ready spot and maybe five women that I was interested in. The other five, I was like, what I'm saying? Like they cool, whatever. That's how I moved. I wasn't like listening to production and like, oh my gosh, talk to everybody, do this. Yeah, I talk to everybody. But me talking to everybody, I already know, okay, cool. This woman fits me. This is my type. I like this one. She has this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pursue this. You know what I mean? The way I want to pursue it. There were I want to say walking in, I had connections with five women that were never shown. They just want to show, yeah. They just want to show,
That's actually one of my questions, so we can just
yeah,
keep flowing with it.
yeah. So I had connections with five women that were never shown that I liked. And day one, I was like, okay, cool. I've been feeling this one. I'm feeling this one. But if you don't really know, like, and focus on it, the first five, maybe four episodes of Regular Love was just about drama. It was not about connections. It was about who was the smoothest talking, who was drama, who had issues. So you got to remember, they already know what they're going to play and when they're going to play it. So
Mhm.
they've already seen who did what, how it's going to end up. So they want to give you a storyline. So the people who had drama, they want to show them from day one and how the drama progressed. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Not how the like true love progressed or how this progressed. Even um with one of my top connections, you like, okay, cool. He had one date with her, he talked to her here.
Mhm.
Where's the connection? You know what I mean? So they showed what they wanted to show. I literally talked to everybody and I asked the questions that I need to ask to figure out where I wanted to be.
Right. Exactly. So in the very beginning, you said five. Who were the five ladies? I was about to say, I thought you was going to tell us. But
Um, that's good. So you know what? Let's say Marcia, Mercedes, Morgan and Suan. The fifth would have been Cynthia on the
Mhm.
second episode.
Wow. They left so much out, so much out. So out of
So
the
much. Yeah,
yeah, and they always do. They're always leaving like a lot of film and yeah, footage on
yeah,
the
yeah,
cutting
yeah. I'm
floor.
like, yo, why did y'all waste so much money on all these dates and everything if y'all wasn't gonna show it? Like literally, y'all just blew y'all budget on nothing.
Let me tell you, Anthony, just real quick, like my season, it was crazy because by like episode 7, it was like I had this strong connection with this guy, but they never showed any of our dates. They never showed our communication or
Mm,
anything. And they were like, why is Sabrina like even into Walter? Like we don't even see a connection.
you don't
They
see
never
it. Yeah,
showed any of our dates and they filmed it. And I'm like, all that, those outfits, the time and energy of getting
right.
ready, driving to the locations, waiting to film. They and showed none of it. I couldn't believe
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they did that. So I mean, I get it. Oh my God. Okay. So out of the 5, who was your top number one connection? Like when you went in, you was like, that's gonna be my wife.
Well, I don't know if I said that's gonna be my wife, but
But you
I
know what I
definitely
mean,
said,
like
I
that
definitely said
one.
like, okay, you know what? We're gonna explore this a little bit more. I would have to say, Morgan.
Really?
Surprise, surprise, right? Morgan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not who I would have thought, but, could you tell us why? That's not one of the questions.
Um.
That's something that I know that they're probably gonna wanna know why.
So what's so crazy is I actually spoke to Morgan previously. We actually connected on a dating app before, and we had a conversation, a really long conversation where we like ended up on FaceTime and we like watched the church sermon together and it's crazy because after that conversation, I don't know what it was, but we never spoke again. Like neither of us ever reached out to each other. I feel like she was in a place in her life, and she knew what she was doing. I was at a place in my life where I was like, I know what I was doing, so we never spoke again. So when I saw her at the mansion, I automatically knew who she was, but I never said anything, unfortunately. I just looked at her like, damn, we run into each other again. Like, and I'm thinking, like, do you remember me? And she didn't remember me, surprisingly.
Wow.
So I think it was like a deja vu moment. So that's why I
Mhm.
would have to say her, just because of our past experience.
Right, exactly, like, because y'all had a previous connection, so it was like
Exactly,
did you
exactly.
feel like oh god, I'm going such off script, but did you feel like when you saw her, like, at the mixer, like, the universe was like, "Oh," you were like, it's a reason why she's here and I'm here," like, did you feel like that at any moment?
Nah, I was just thinking like, damn, Miami too small. Shit. Like, what's going on? Like, how do we bump into each other right now? What's going on? So
Right,
nah, I didn't feel like that. I just like, damn, like does she remember me? Is she about to talk about it with these mics on us right now and say how we met each
right,
other? That's what's going through my mind.
right. So when did she finally realize, like, "Hey, are you the guy that" you know what I mean?
So it's crazy. We go to the brunch mixer and
Mhm.
me and Morgan get to talking again. And Morgan says, let me get your phone number or whatever. I didn't have my phone on me. I never carry my phone on me on scenes like that. And then she puts my number in her phone and she calls it and my name pops up. And she
Mm.
looks at me like, why is your name in my phone? And I said, because we know each other. And I was just trying to see how long it took you to remember that. And then it clicked to her where she knew me from.
I wonder how I would have felt. I would have been like, "Oh my goodness." Like, okay, so once she realized you're him, like, did you notice or feel like it was any sparks? Like, she was like, "Oh, wow, like this is a chance for me to really like get to know him now." Did you feel that energy from her?
Somewhat, I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, like we know each other. And then it started to ring a bell to her, like, I think in her mind, and this is just me speculating, she probably was like, damn, if I had really talked to this man when we talked, me and him wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. That's
Mm,
that's that's the that's the vibe that I took from it.
dang. Like you was like a gem that got away.
I mean, it could be looked at like that, but like, damn, like we probably been through so much outside of each other that if we had really paid attention to each other, maybe we wouldn't be here right now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had heard a little something about the story, but I never really knew like the full story and what had happened. So that's
Yeah. So that's
interesting.
how it happened.
Okay, it's good. And then plus two, I like to hear stuff from the horse. You know what I mean? I don't like to.
Got it.
Wow.
So that's
Okay.
how it happened.
Yeah. So I don't have like a timeline for these questions. It literally was like, so if I'm going here, forgive me, because I
Okay.
keep talking about Mercedes women, and then I could talk about Cynthia, and I actually might go back to Cynthia. You know what I mean? So just bear
Yeah.
with me. Okay. So when Mercedes told you that she just wasn't when y'all were in the pool, when she just wasn't in that space, or I guess in the space in her life where she felt like she was ready for you and like children and family and all that. How did you feel when Mercedes told you that?
Um. Okay. So with that scene in the pool, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of our way of ending our storyline, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we both knew what it was at that point, but we just needed to put it into it for the public to see us put it into it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, we've had little interactions at the house,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so with our interactions at the house, we had little moments. But at the end of the day, we saw where each other was gravitating to. So
Mm-hmm.
we're like, you know what? Let's have this conversation that we need to have on air. So I can't remember. I think she was like, "Hey, let's go to the pool or whatever." They copied, like they really chopped that up the way they wanted to chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I started the conversation. I said certain things to her, and then she said certain things. Where at the end of the day, if you really look at it,
Mm-hmm.
all the men were led off by women. None of us men really um, executed a dismissal. We allowed the women to kind of exit the situation. No matter what the situation was, no man ended it. So we allowed the women to have that grace to say, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, this ain't working out, or I'm gravitating to this person, or whatever the case may be, to
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and end it, because we knew who our person was.
Right. So even though you're saying that you kind of knew where you were gravitating towards during that time before you guys went to the
Mhm.
pool to have that discussion in front of the cameras, because it seemed like, and I know a lot of the viewers were saying like you were really hurt, like you really liked Mercedes. Was that the
Oh, don't get me wrong. Um, don't get me wrong. Mercedes is a beautiful person. I did really like her.
hmm
But I knew before the house where she was gravitating to and where she was. I don't know if you remember, but early on we had like a triple date with Cynthia, Suan, Blake, um, who else? Lyndon was there.
hmm
Um, so I knew at that point where she stood.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Like she told me early on, like, hey, you're this, and this, but I'm here, and here with my life.
Right.
So we knew where it was. Um, I've had multiple dates with her. We've had this discussion on and off camera, but they're gonna chop and paste what they want to and put it where they want to put it. So
Absolutely.
I knew where she stood. It wasn't a surprise to me. I didn't act hurt or dumbfounded or anything. We knew what it was.
Right. So even though you knew what it was, like it just seemed like you were real disappointed. Like if you could have tried to change her mind, to say, not change her mind, but to like talk to her to try to see if you could make things work. Cause you know how sometimes you meet people and y'all are like on two different spectrums. It doesn't really seem like y'all are in the same book, but not necessarily on the same page. Did you ever think to yourself, maybe I just need to have more conversations with her because this is someone that I could really see myself with? Or were you like,
I
okay,
would
like I'm good,
I,
Mercedes?
I would never ever ever try to convince a woman to be
Mm,
something that she doesn't think she is. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I've done it in the past. I've exerted myself. It's emotionally exhausting to try to convince somebody that they could be something that they aren't. Like if you don't have that confidence, if you don't know what you want, to stand by it and to grow with it, I'm not the person to do it, to be honest with you. I respect people for where they are in life. You can go ahead and deal with those trials and tribulations without me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just respect it. I would never try to convince somebody or something, but they aren't.
Yeah, that's good to know because everybody was like, he really wanted to be with Mercedes. You know what I mean?
Nah, no, no, no. She look. She told me early on. I respected it. I dealt with it. I acknowledged it. It
Mhm.
was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to let you guys know in the chat, shout out to you guys. If you have not clicked that thumbs up yet, it's 241 of you watching. If you have not clicked that thumbs up yet, make sure you click that thumbs up. And just to let you know too, I see a lot of questions in the chat. If y'all want them on the screen, make sure you do super chat so you can get them on the screen. All right, let's move forward. So a lot of people were also saying like, you had that connection and we saw it on screen with Sue-Ann, but it really did not seem like you were really interested in Sue-Ann. It was kind of like Sue-Ann was trying to get you to be interested in her, but you was like, I'm gonna do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? But like you really wasn't feeling her. Is that the case? Or were you really like feeling her?
So that's so false. If people don't pay attention, um, the first three men's lounges and deliberations, I actually put someone at my top
Mm-hmm.
from day one. So how could I be interested in someone and I'm putting them at my top throughout the first three men's deliberations? When a lot of people don't know and what's not shown is we had that date at my house
Mm-hmm.
where she told me what was going on. And the absolute next day, we had the triple date
Mm-hmm.
with if people don't remember. And on that date, she was with Blake and she sat in his lap and they kissed
Right.
and they spoke. And pretty much at that point, if people don't remember or put two and two together, they claimed each other. They're like, we together now in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I was standing literally 5 feet to the left of them and saw and heard everything that was going on. So everything after that was just kind of drug on. Like I had already known what it was. Like this is her person. Like they locked in, they good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna keep trying to pursue. I'm not in a competition. Like
Right.
literally, I came here for something. I didn't come in here to compete with the next man. So if that man found his person, that woman found her person, I'm gonna respect it and I'm gonna let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as the continuance of it, Sue-Ann liked me, I like Sue-Ann, but at the end of the day, I already know what it was. So they just kept putting it on and putting it on and putting it on. And actually, Sue-Ann was the person that I had the most dates with. I had the
Mm-hmm.
most. I had an amazing time with Sue-Ann. They didn't show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and
I was about to say we have
and
no
that's
idea.
you have no idea. But I had the most dates with Sue-Ann. We went to dancing lessons together. We had restaurants dates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Surprising. So I hate the fact that they made it seem like she was chasing me and I wasn't giving her answers. That's so false. You know what
But
I'm
she
saying? We
said
really
it
was giving.
though. But she said it when she met your friend, and she was like, I asked Anthony, like, I be like, do he like me? And then the friend was like, your friend was like, does he answer you? And she's like, no. And then you was like, I like you, Sue-Ann.
So I had already know I liked her. Mind you, I'm already telling you, her and Blake were locked in, going together at that point. So it's kind of like you gotta say what you gotta say to be, you know what I'm saying, to do what you gotta do, pretty much. But she knew what it was. I knew what it was. I respected it. She respected it, but she was already locked in at the time.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. That's crazy. So how did it feel when you saw her sitting there on Blake's lap and they were kissing and stuff?
I was like, I was looking like, didn't we just have a date last night and you just talked to me and we just, but at the end of the day, I think what Swan was doing, which is cool with me, was she was just trying to figure out who best fit her and who was interested in her at the time,
Mhm.
and who was her person. You know, so I feel like that day at my house and her questioning me was just like, look, man, I'm leaning between you and this man. I'm about to make a decision. So where are you leaning towards? Whereas me, I was still like, look, we're still early in this. I have a couple other young ladies that I'm interested in. I want to go ahead and see this through and explore this a little bit more. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I like I said, I respect it, you know.
Mhm.
She had between two men and she went towards, the man that was giving her more at the time.
Right, right. So how did you feel about Cynthia's ex, James? Like, how did you really feel in real life?
Okay, so in real life,
This is the real deal right here. This is putting it all out.
James is a clown, to be honest with you. And me being a father and me thinking about if I had to be put in that position, the kind of questions I would ask, he
Mhm.
failed the mission. He totally failed it. Me, I would have been like, hey, um, are you a pedophile? Where do you live? Do you have kids? How do you treat your kids? How would you treat my kid? How active are you in your kid's life? I'd have been asking those kind of questions. James came off as a man that I still want this woman. I'm gonna give you a hard ass time about this woman. I'm gonna show up at your house when I want to show up at your house and act a fool. You know, um, I had to definitely meet James where he was, but in a revolved way. Me, James, and Cynthia actually grew up down the street from each other. We're from the same hood, from the same, yeah. Surprising, right? Um, we're from the same hood, same place, Little Haiti in Miami. Um, Unfortunately, James' mentality is still there. Unfortunately, um, and I wish I had have gotten a chance to ask James questions as well.
Mhm.
Like, hey, how active are you in your kid's life? What kind of role are you going to be playing? How much do I have to compensate for you as a man? You know, but we didn't get that chance, because James is just like,
Yeah, shooting shots.
wow,
Yeah.
he was shooting shots. Unfortunately, I don't know if James is doing it for TV. I don't know if production put him up to it. I've heard so many different stories behind that, to be honest with you, that I
So
don't really know what to say. But at the end of the day, James didn't understand the assignment.
oh my God. I'm
It
trying not
is what it is.
I'm trying not to be too personally involved in this interview. Wow. I appreciate your honesty. I do. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because a lot
No
of people
problem.
were, yeah. Wow. Okay. So did James play a part in your decision in moving forward with Anthony? Did he play a part at all? Like if I deal with Cynthia, like I'm gonna have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So did that like ever cross your mind and maybe
Of course it did. It crossed my mind from when I got up at that table and I walked out that restaurant. It crossed my mind. Um,
Mm,
Cynthia had described James as being Miami when I spoke to her about him. I definitely spoke to Cynthia about it quite a few times. 'Cause I didn't understand how a woman like you could be single or how a man could have two children with you and not want to make it work. You know what I mean?
right.
That definitely crossed my mind. So me meeting James and meeting Cynthia and realizing where we both come from, it definitely was a shocker for me. Definitely. So when I walked out of there, I was like, yo, you really need to reevaluate the situation and really talk to her about it and see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So your doormat. It was
So
a
my doormat, it's not meant to be disrespectful at all. I promise it's not. I don't consider women as that word at all. I heard it in the song. I'm a bachelor. I live in a home by myself, just me and my daughter. So I thought it was cute. I thought it was cool at the time. But since then, I removed it. I removed it. I heard about it. I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm grown. I'm 40. Let's go ahead and get a welcome mat instead of that. So it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's definitely gone. It's gone. I realize the disrespect that could come behind it and how people can interpret it. You know what I mean? So it's gone. I got a regular welcome mat now. It's regular. It's regular.
Oh my God.
You know.
I think so many people were like, it was like, I think that episode, the hottest topic was that doormat. I don't even think no one even talked about that episode, but they talked
It's
about that.
crazy. I was on your panel that night when PO didn't even know the song or where it came from. And I was like, damn, bro, is that serious? I thought it was cool at the time. I got the house like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So I thought it was cool at the time. I had it specially made. I used to listen to Roddy Rich back in COVID. So I thought it was cool, but I got rid of it. I said, you know what? I'm a grown man. Let's do grown man things. Let's not resort to that. I heard how the public took it, how women might take it, so it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they had a lot to say about it. But I'm glad you got a chance to clear it up. Y'all
yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah. That's gone.
now that's
That's gone.
exclusive because I don't think no interviewer probably would have asked you about that term.
Nah. I haven't had it yet.
Oh my
And
God.
I didn't realize, when productions in my house that they focused on that damn doormat. I was
They
like, yo, y'all set me up with that one. Y'all really
look.
did.
I love production. I do. I have a great relationship with Lighthearted and with Will Packer Productions. I have a great relationship with them. But let me tell you something. When I had that date with Sean and we were eating Korean food, and he asked me a question. I'm telling you, that camera zoomed in on my right eye. You know why? Because my eyelash was lifting up. That's the only reason. Eyelash was like this,
Yeah,
and it was like. I was like, really, guys? I was like, y'all are so
yeah.
petty, but they do stuff like that.
They really do. They really do. They focus on the things that they feel like the public are going to acknowledge or take heed to. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really have to show that doormat. That was private. But I let them in my house, so there was no rules to that.
Oh my God. Well, guess what? It was a hot topic, and people hated it, but they loved it. But either way, they was talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
It's gone. So please forgive me, anybody out that was disrespected by it. It's gone. I got a regular welcome mat.
Oh my God. All right, guys. I see the questions. Y'all are saying, please ask Anthony. If you want the questions on the screen, make it a super chat and I will put it on the screen. Okay. So, and like I said, I'm going to be going all over the place. So my next question to you is what type of woman do you gravitate towards? Like, what type of women? Do you have a type? Do you have a preference? Like, when you look for your woman and you're single and you're out here mingling, or you're not, you're at home chilling, whatever the case, when you find that woman, like your wife, the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with, can you describe her to me?
So although the physical will draw me to that woman, attract me to that woman, I'm more of a sapiosexual. So the conversation definitely has to be there. I love natural women. It's just something about natural women, and they have a natural hair, natural body, face clean, no makeup, no lash. It's just something about it. Don't get me wrong, women that do that to enhance themselves, nothing wrong with it at all. I'm just telling you my preference of what would draw me to a person. Um, I just love that atmosphere. And I think that's why walking into the mansion, everybody was just like 110% done up. I didn't go swarming. I'm not a swarmer. I don't run to women. Like most women, like will talk to 10 women in the club to get one phone number. I'd rather talk to the one woman that I'm interested in and possibly get her phone number. That's how I move. That's how I've always moved, no matter what situation I've been in life, career, non-career, doing what I do. I've just always been that person to gravitate to quality over quantity. So I love a natural woman. I love a smart woman. I love a woman that's confident in herself and everything around her, that actually knows what she wants to do and wants to be. I don't need a perfect woman. Don't get me wrong. You do not have to be perfect at all, because I'm not a perfect person, but just come as you are. Let me get to see you as you are, and we'll grow from there. We'll work it out.
You're going to have every woman saying, that's me. He talking about me. Man, your DM's going to be on fire.
It's crazy. It is, but I don't even like really look at that side of the DMs, because I feel like it's just such a catch-22. I feel like it could be a positive and a negative right now in my life, as far as checking them DMs and the women.
Yeah.
So it's just hit or miss. Maybe one day I'll scroll over to that side and see what's out there.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And real quick story about me is after I did the show, I did not go on the other side because
You
I
didn't
was
go over
like,
that side, right?
I didn't on purpose, because I said to myself in real life, like, I'm not saying I'm looking for my husband, but I really want to meet the one. I'm not trying to meet the one by default because I was just on TV. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always say, like, I want to go to the grocery store and someone says, hi, how are you? What's your name? Because he's never seen me before, you know?
Right.
I don't want no one coming to me talking about, is your name Sabrina? I just was like,
Yeah.
it's such a turn off. Like, I don't want that. So I completely understand. Well, I'm sure when you do check your DM, you might have to grab a drink. You're gonna probably need some time. You're gonna have to kick your feet up because you're gonna be like, you're gonna be
Hey, you know what? If Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons can make it work, then you know anybody can make it work.
after what, 10 years? What, 15 years?
Yeah, it was in 10. I think it was like I looked it up too at the time because I was talking to a friend of mine about it. It was some years in there though. It definitely was some years he was in the DM.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And she was like, yeah, no. And he was like, well, I'm just letting you know it's been like 4 years. I'm trying again. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick him. I'm not gonna pick you. And they're like,
Hey, that boy is patient. He was patient. Hey, patience is a virtue. You know, it definitely is.
yeah. And she definitely had all these other relationships in his face. But the thing is that man knew he wanted that woman, and he was patient.
Facts.
And now
Facts.
she's probably the best version of herself and exactly where she needed to be and needs to be in her life to be able to receive him how she needs to be able to receive him.
Yeah. I agree, definitely.
The
I
universe
agree.
always work in mysterious ways, honey. Okay. So when you and Cynthia kissed in the pool, and she was like, "Oh my God, like we said we wasn't gonna kiss until we do. We was the one for each other. Oh my God." So I got like 3 questions to this one question. So when
Okay.
you were kissing the pool and you came up, and I even think I was like, and I hope you didn't like get offended. I was like, he came out the water like a mermaid, like a god.
I didn't even watch your panel. You know what? I'll say that for later, but I didn't watch your panel that time.
I
I'll tell you why later.
I was like, like because I love the Little Mermaid. Like the Mermaid King. He's standing like this with his crown on, with that fork thing in his hand. I was like, you came out like a Mermaid King. I was like, Lord have mercy. So anyway, and everyone, yeah, really loved how you came about the water with the water glistening all over your body.
Mm-hmm.
So when you kiss Cynthia, when you kiss Cynthia, were you kissing her like I'm letting you know you the one, or had y'all already been kissing off camera?
Me and Cynthia actually never kissed off camera before. In fact, like you just said, me and Cynthia said to each other that we would not do that until we found our person. We wasn't gonna be out here just kissing everybody in the process. So me doing that, they didn't even show the conversation that me and Cynthia was having at the time. Cynthia was having a difficult day that day, as far as talking to her connections and just letting them know where she stands. And Cynthia's the person that wears her heart on her sleeves, you
Yes.
know, so she does not like to let people down or discourage people or anything, or disappoint people, I should say. So we had that conversation. I saw she was in a rough place. We were talking. I let her know where I was with my connections and how, I was gravitating to her. So that kiss of getting out the water was like, yo, we good. We locked in. I got you. You got me. Don't worry about it. You can trust me. We good. That's what that was.
Mm. Mm. So at that very moment, was that kind of like y'all solidifying y'all's?
Yeah, definitely. Because at the house, like when we got to, it's crazy because even from the time we jumped on the airboat or
Mm.
whatever, we sat next to each other. And when we went to a little private island, they didn't even show the private island that we went to. We had been talking. She had been asking me questions. I had been asking her questions. And
Mhm.
when we got to the house, it was kind of like we were just here. It's crazy because I was in the kitchen cooking with Suan at the time,
Mhm.
and Cynthia was doing. I don't even know where Cynthia was at, but we always gravitated back to each other. So anytime anything would happen, I would like always look for Cynthia. Like if we were serving dinner or lunch or whatever it was, I was like, "Yo, where's Cynthia? I don't see her. So let me make her plate, put it to the side for her, because I don't see her, whatever she's doing, and I got her. So it was just a natural gravitation at that point, like making sure she's good, even though I don't see where she is.
Mhm. Mhm. Mm. So much going on. And just to let y'all know, like, if I don't know if Cynthia's in the chat, but shout out to Cynthia because I love Cynthia. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all together. But now let's get into those questions. So with you guys leaving the show together and everybody was happy, and I said it all the time, I was like, oh my God, I was like, if anybody, I was like, please let Cynthia and Anthony work out. And I even said it when I watched the reunion, when it seemed like y'all weren't really together anymore. I was like, that was the little bit of hope that I had left for love. you know so
Yeah.
when she said that she was emotionally unavailable for you, how did that make you feel? Like, did it make you feel like that, like, why am I here? Like, I have so many questions, but we're gonna start there. Did it make you like have any animosities towards her when she said that she was emotionally unavailable, especially when she came on a dating show to find love?
That wasn't perceived the way that I think she meant it to be perceived. Cynthia was absolutely ready to find love coming on the show. I will say that. Um, Unfortunately, we all didn't come on this process how we needed to come on this process. Um, we had things going on, and we weren't exactly 100% transparent with each other. Uh, like it's just like you meeting someone in a 6 week period, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just disclosing everything in your life. You don't know these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally, you don't know these people. You barely know these people's last name.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So for you to be completely 110% real with these people is probably not realistic. So for her saying that, I think with me and Cynthia leaving this process together,
Mm-hmm.
she got to know a lot more of herself and realized that what she was used to is
Mm-hmm.
not a normal way of life in a relationship,
Mm,
unfortunately.
actually said something like
So
that.
she was exposed to what a real, natural, organic relationship can be and feel like. And
Mm,
unfortunately, it takes people sometimes to kind of take hold of that and gravitate to that. When
mm-hmm.
they're so used to so much garbage in their life, you know,
Right.
and so much past hurt and pain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
So I
you,
think that's what she meant by she was emotionally unavailable. She was emotionally unavailable to what a normal life and normal relationship could look like.
right. And it's crazy because I actually said that when I was, talking about that on one of my lives about how because she dated someone like James, and I don't know James, but it just seemed like she dated him, I think off and on for like 12 years, or he had been in her life for 12 years.
Correct.
And for
Correct.
me to
Correct.
see just for a glimpse of what I feel like how James could be, obviously, like she may, not obviously, but she may be used to someone of that nature. And I feel like you and him are like night and day. And I feel like that maybe that's why that's how I felt. And I actually said that that's why she was unemotionally available for you, because she was showing up as a Cynthia that was used to dating James's.
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel like with Cynthia is she got a glimpse of a man that she wants and she could potentially be like, but at the end of the day, you're used to what you're used to. So it takes time to like kind of crawl out of that environment, that hole, and be used to something that's normal. And sometimes when people are introduced to that, they self-sabotage. You
I
know what I'm saying?
was getting ready to ask you, did she do that? Because she also mentioned at the reunion about how y'all had your disagreements, y'all had y'all situations, and the way that she responded. So is that kind of what happened? Like y'all had, a situation
So
and
we had a couple different situations where it's just like, why are you not seeing that this is not the correct way of things? Like, what
Mhm,
is it, the disconnect? Men and women already have a hard time communicating. We already have a disconnect. To
mhm,
add a relationship like what me have within the 6 weeks, that you're like, damn, I'm really into this person. I'm really feeling this person. I can see myself with this person, but I don't know how to address this person. This man is not the kind of man that I'm used to. I can't do X, Y, and Z and get this man to react because he's not the man that I'm used to. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
I can't hang up just an example, not that it's happened. I can't hang up the phone on this man, or I can't curse this man out and he blowing my phone up, like 30 times, like, yo, why did you hang up the phone on me? Why did you, you know what I'm saying? You're this, you're this, you're this. Like, no, you're dealing with a man with, if you disrespect this man, you're not going to hear from this man. Like, this is not going to happen. He's not going to tolerate this.
That's
So I
right.
feel like, with that being said, you have to give grace to certain people and understand you have to meet them where they are. And if they have to step back, and you have to tell them, look, I need you to step back, reevaluate things, and deal with it. And then let's build a friendship. Let's talk about it. Let me get to know you on a friendship basis. And if it progresses something more, then it does. But if not, then it's just not going to go nowhere. Let's just walk away being friends before we end up being something toxic.
So in the beginning of this conversation, you said we. So like we just discussed Cynthia and being unemotionally available, and you guys meeting for only 6 weeks, coming into this, not really knowing each other. So you said we. So we discussed Cynthia. So what about you? Like, how did you enter into the relationship where maybe did you feel like you helped sabotage the situation or relationship as well? Like, what did you feel like you did to where it wasn't adding to the relationship? Or do you feel like that wasn't the case? Because
to be honest with you, I was very patient. I was very patient in regards to, like, I literally would talk things out. I would try to get her, like, look, we would have countless conversations about this, and I'll point certain things out. But if a person is not ready to see something and understand, no matter what you do, you're not going to get them to see it, understand until they're ready. They have to be ready.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter what I said or did, I could have moved heavens and earth for this person, but they're not ready to see what you're presenting or what you're bringing to them. They're not going to get it. It's like you trying to get somebody to change after 30 years of doing the same exact repeated thing. You're not going to do that in 6 weeks to 2 months.
Absolutely.
You can't change what they've been doing the past 30 years.
Wow. This is just news to me, because I'm going to say this, and everybody knows I love Cynthia. But the Cynthia I saw on screen is not the Cynthia that you're describing to me right now. Because
but you know what though? In her defense, I'm always defend people, because nobody's perfect. You know what
I'm
I
not
mean?
saying
The
what you're saying
Cynthia,
is bad, though. I'm not saying what you. It just let me
it's
explain
life.
more. It is, but let me explain a little bit more. Her edit gave me healed, ready. Not saying she's not ready to love and to be said, but healed, ready, like able, willing, patient, ready to. You know what I'm saying? Like I just saw, like, honey, this lady could get married next week because she's ready. Like, that's what I saw. But what just the things that you're saying, and I don't want you to feel like you need to defend her because you didn't say anything bad. You know what I mean?
All right. But in reality, though, Sabrina, who's ever healed? Healing is a continuous process. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So you're going to have triggers. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have things that come about in your life that's going to trigger you. And only a perfect person cannot react. You know what I mean? So it's a continuous thing. So if anybody ever come to me and be like, yo, I'm healed. I went to therapy. I listened to podcasts. I went to Sarah Jake's conferences. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm gonna run away from you because you're not taking accountability. You're not being realistic. You're
Right.
never completely healed from what you went through. It's
Right.
just like saying a veteran is completely healed from the PTSD and the trauma that he went through.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, nobody's saying that. I'm not saying that, because nobody is perfect. I've gone through a lot of
Yeah.
just different situations in my life too. But I know where I am, excuse me, in my life. 12 years ago, I couldn't say that. I could say, like, I'm healed, I'm good, but I don't think that I would have been emotionally available. Where I am in my life right now, I am healed, I am good, and I am emotionally available. You know what I
Got it.
mean? And I'm ready for it. But one thing about me is I would never put myself in a position to be ready to receive what I'm supposed to get, my king. You know what I'm saying? And put myself out there if I'm really not 100% sure, because I don't want you to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. You know what I mean? And nobody is perfect, but I just feel like people maybe should take time out for themselves a little bit more and really try to find out exactly who they are, who they want, who will feed their soul. Because I need somebody that's going to pour into me like I'm going to pour into them. Because I don't want, you can't pour and you can't drink from an empty cup. So I need someone that's going to be equally yoked with me as well. But for me to go on a dating show and for me to go out and on these dating apps or looking for love or be, ready when I meet somebody at the grocery store, like if I know I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But if I am, but I know people are at different stages in their life as well. So it's like, I get that. But I just feel like I'm not going to put myself in certain positions to be able to meet those people if I really don't feel like I'm emotionally available. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And unfortunately, a person's perception is their reality. So if you perceive that you're ready and you're healed and you're ready to go out there and date and you want to find love and I'm ready at this point, that's your perception. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you're absolutely ready. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that mentally you're not hiding your scars or putting them away and like, okay, cool, I'm ready to go out here and do this. So that means you're going to go out here and do this. Your mind
Mm-hmm.
is a powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes your mind and your heart battle each other
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at times. So just because your mind is telling you that you're ready to go out here and date, it doesn't mean your heart is ready to go out there and date.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
that's what
but
I
that's
mean.
just that. Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. You're good. You're
Well,
good.
no, that's just what I mean is that because if you feel in your heart that you're not ready, especially if you think that you are, like, that's cool. And if it is a situation where she came on the show and she felt like she was, maybe the show was something that she needed, that had to happen into her life, that had to come into her life for her to realize, oh snap, I'm not ready. Like, I need to really go
Exactly.
go through.
Exactly.
So it's like, I completely get it. I completely get it. So I understand where you're coming from. When you say
Yeah.
it like that, I understand. I try to, and I really try to hear different people's stories just because I know where I am in my life and what I've gone through, because I've gone through domestic violence relationships. I've gone through, bullying
Wow.
growing up. I've gone through, attempted suicides. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff. And with me being about to turn 48 years old, I know exactly who I am right now in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
completely understand. And it took me almost 12 years to get here to this positive place in my life where I'm free, and I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to get too deep because this is about you. I'm sorry. But
It's all
anyway,
good.
yeah, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, moving forward, because I don't want to keep you too long. Oh God, where am I? Oh, okay. So when Cynthia was at the reunion, and just to let everybody know, I love Cynthia, and y'all know I love Cynthia, but we, are discussing it. So, but when Cynthia was sitting at the reunion beside you and her back was kind of turned, people were saying it was a dress malfunction. People were saying so many different things. Can you, and she, from my understanding, explained, and I've been so busy, I haven't been able to watch all the interviews. I heard that she did explain why she was sitting like that. I don't really personally know the real reason, but can you tell me how that made you feel?
To be honest with you, I wasn't surprised. Um,
Mm,
Unfortunately, yeah, I wasn't surprised. Me and Cynthia, unfortunately, and not to put our business on blast or anything, but
yes.
we hadn't spoken for months before that reunion. Um, yeah, we hadn't spoken. Actually, the first time we saw each other was at their reunion. So we didn't know where each other's headspace was or anything at that time. So her sitting like that, I don't even know if she realized she was sitting like that. And to be honest with you, knowing Cynthia and knowing how emotional she is, like y'all have seen on camera, she's a very emotional person. So for her having to sit to where she can view me and have to talk about this, it could have ended up a lot worse than it would have been. She probably would end up crying on screen, or who knows what could have happened, So yes, it was disrespectful in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, I feel like it was an unconscious thing that was done.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because us as the viewers looked at it like, why is she sitting with her back? A lot of people were saying it was rude, it was disrespectful, it was, if she wasn't going to look at you, and because of the emotions, like, it was kind of like, geez, like, just for at least 10 minutes of y'all filming that scene or 30 minutes, like just to at least sit by you and to, you know, be able to look. But to be like this was it was a lot of backlash that she had gotten from that. But I honestly, but we're not, because, you know, she's supposed to come on next week and I can talk to her about that. But I wanted to know how you felt about that. So
To be honest with you, like I said, I feel like it's an unconscious thing that was done. I wasn't surprised at all, knowing Cynthia and knowing what led up to it and where we were, the kind of place we was at that time. So I didn't really take heed to anything that anybody was really saying as far as her being disrespectful at the time.
Oh goodness. Okay. Let me get, because my brain, I'm trying to stay focused because I've been off key. Okay, so the number one question is I know when y'all talked and y'all said at the reunion, like y'all were gonna try to work on it moving forward. She was like, I'm gonna work on it, babe. Are y'all really still working on it right now?
With me, I'm not into working on a relationship at this time with Cynthia. I'd rather work on a friendship. Um, I feel like working on a friendship at this point and everything that we've been through is very vital. I just went through this process for like 6 weeks with a person that I barely even know. You know what I'm saying? And I came out of this process and I dealt with what I dealt with. It was an eye opener because I was ready. I was ready to hit the ground running with Cynthia, to be honest with you. So it was definitely disappointing, and it definitely made me take a better look at things. Like, you know what, let me build a better foundation of this person if she's able to, you know, because when you go from a romantic relationship to a friendship, sometimes it's hard. So I had to talk to her about it, like, look, I think we should build a better foundation. Let's go ahead and be friends. Let's build a bit. Let me get to know the real you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not the produced you, not the camera you, but the real you, the everyday you, the mom, the person, the individual, you know? So that's just where I am right now with her.
Yeah. Respect. Dad, you're such a great guy. I really hope that, because I think she's an amazing woman. So I really
Yeah.
hope that you guys can work it out one day. I do want to put this on here. Thank you for the super chat, Jana. But she just wants you to know that we love Anthony.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Okay. So I have just a couple more questions, if you don't mind.
Of course.
How did you feel watching the show back while it was being aired? Because from my understanding, when you guys shot the reunion, you guys had not seen any of the episodes. So when you watched it,
So what they did was they played like little short clips of the episodes and asked us about it at the time. But to watch the episodes back on TV, I felt like I was living it twice. Matter of fact, a couple of times that it came on, I actually didn't watch it for weeks at a time. I would let different episodes play out, maybe like 2 or 3 at a time before I got to watch it. Unfortunately, I took this process real serious. I wasn't doing it for TV. I never had hopes or any aspirations ever in my life of being on TV. Matter of fact, when I came on the show, and up to the time I drove up to the mansion, I still didn't believe it was real. I thought it was a joke.
yeah,
So when they picked me up and like drove me in front of the mansion, I came out and I seen the cameras and I was like, oh, this is real. This is really happening. Up until we saw it on screen, I'm like, yo, this is playing. Like it's not for real. You know, so I took it seriously. That's why I acted accordingly because I realized that, you know, I have my mother that's gonna watch this, my grandmother, my aunts that are watching this. I can't act a fool on here or be something that I'm not just for TV. Even my daughter, you know what I mean? She came to the premiere party with me. She's seen it. She's interacted with the castmates, you know. So I never wanted to come off as I was being perfect. I just wanted to be me. Like this is me every day. This is Anthony. Like this is the nurse practitioner. This is the father. You know, this is the business person. That's just all I ever wanted to be in this whole process.
So I have one last question.
What's up?
And you and I, we briefly discussed this backstage. And I would like for you to bring some clarity and some insight and the truth, because we're going to hear it directly from you. But a lot of People have mentioned it. I've seen it myself, and I just want you to be able to speak your piece on it because the fans are really hard on us. I know I've been in your shoes. So it's like, I get it. I'm not somebody that's just, and I'm so grateful for this platform. And I'm so grateful to be able to have this opportunity and this platform to be able to bring, you guys up here because I went through it and I know how hard it can be, especially when, some people don't care to clear their name, but some people, it's really hurtful and they're like, no, that's not the truth, and I'm glad that I have this opportunity to give you guys to be able to do this. So there have been a lot of posts, a lot of speculations, a lot of comments, and I just want you to clear it up, but it is about your sexuality.
Oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Okay. This this is funny. Oh, you can hear me. This is awkward. Oh.
Sorry about that. Baby girl's calling my name.
Oh no, and yeah, and she's first.
So
She's
so to react to your question, like we did talk about it. Unfortunately, it's horrible because I was like, I heard it a couple of times, and I was like, wow, is this really what we've come to as a community? Like to see a man in this way because he's well groomed, he's well spoken, he's not chasing after every woman that walks across him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's really sad, and it's sad that as Black people that majority watch this show, that we resort to that what we don't understand and what we don't respect. Like a man can't respect women. A man can't be chasing a woman up and down before we question his sexuality. And unfortunately, it's crazy because one of the first times I saw it was actually from an individual on your panel. A person that was trying to be relevant that said that speculated that. Well, I was like, yo, why this brother like knocking down another brother? I was questioning. I'm like, yo, did I sleep with his sister or something, or somebody in his family that he would speculate this? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he really trying to be relevant by saying this? But this brother like continued calling my name like he was my daughter or something. And I was like, damn, as another Black man, like you must really want to be in my shoes or live my life for you to be speculating that. But no, there's nothing weird with my sexuality. I love women. I've always loved women. I only love women. I just have learned over the years. I was in the military. I was in the streets prior to that. I just act as my age. I'm a 40-year-old male with a daughter that I'm raising. So I want to teach my daughter what to accept and what not to accept from men. So if her daddy is sitting here having women in and out, disrespecting women, what kind of foundation am I setting for my daughter? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm an educated Black man. I make really, really, really good money. You know what I'm saying? So I could afford to take care of myself. I could afford to be groomed. I could afford to light candles in my home. As you've seen my home, it is my home. It's not an Airbnb. You know what I mean? Like I do really good for myself. Unfortunately, Black people knock people down because we're not them, or we can't be them, or we want to be them. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it's come from other Black men. That's the sad part about it. Instead of a Black man uplifting people and saying, damn, that brother's doing his thing. I'm proud of him. He's not incarcerated. He's not sitting here on child support. He's not down. He'd rather talk down on another brother. It's really sad. So to answer that question, um, now I'm just chill. I've been in the streets. Like I said, I've done my time in the military. I've been to Iraq. I've done what I needed to do. I've come out. I've gotten my education. I just live a different type of way. And I'm proud of the way I live. What's the alternative? Being locked up, being a deadbeat, not taking care of my child, not claiming my household or whatever it is, living
Yeah.
low key. So definitely.
Yeah. Respect. So I will put this on the screen. You kind of actually answered this because I asked this question, but Mimi wanted to know, what does your future wife look like? But we actually did answer that question. Yvette, thank you for the super chat. And Dee Dee says, do you regret wanting to share a life with Cynthia?
Mm, um, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say No, I have no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I deal with in life is a lesson. The
Mm-hmm.
only time you can regret something is if you put unnecessary time into it,
Yeah.
or you feel like you wasted your time. I don't feel like I wasted my time with Cynthia. I got to know an amazing person,
Yep.
um, and I don't take that back. You know, unfortunately, things happen, things transpire, and it's just one of those chapters in life that you got to move forward from.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Are you dating? Are you dating now, or are you dating anyone now?
No, I am not dating anyone now. To be honest with you, it's still so early to decide what I'm gonna do as far as that dating situation. Um, I just transitioned to another part of work right now, so I'm trying to get a work-life balance
Yeah.
scheduled. So I'll see. I don't know. It's something, you know, if Amazon Prime delivers somebody at my door or something, then I'll consider it. But
Honey, they gonna be
hey,
Googling
we'll
Anthony
see.
address. Anthony address ready to love.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. But no, I'm not dating with nobody at this time.
Oh wow. But you are open to meeting, and like if you met somebody at the gas station, like do you feel like you're in that space where you're like, hey, how are you? My name's Anthony. You know what I mean?
I'm always open to establishing a friendship. I'm always open to it.
Yeah.
I'll never discourage a friendship at all because I always say I would love to go from friend to fiance. To be honest with you, I
Yeah.
would love to go from that because at the end of the day, think about it. Like, how many friendships have you lost versus how many relationships have you lost?
Mm. I
You
like
caught that, right? You caught that, right? Yeah,
I like that. How tall are you? No, I'm just.
yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Are you working on any projects that you would like to tell the people about?
um, wow. Any projects? To be honest with you, right now, I'm just doing my medical concierge business. I think open early next year, I want to open up my own medical practice office. So right now, I'm doing a mobile thing right now. I just need to find time to find a location, do the groundwork. But next year, I'll open my own office. I'm actually working on my doctorate degree right now. So I'm doing that. So those are the only things. I don't have any acting or music or anything like that coming out or nothing
Right.
crazy. Like, I'm a regular individual um that just, I'm just out here working and being a father and being a regular person. That's it. So
Right.
nothing outrageous going on. No modeling career pursuing or nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to all your success, man. I think you're an amazing man. I know one day you will find your queen. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for this interview. Thank you to Yvette McCall. She says, I hope Cynthia does the work because I really believe you are what she is asking God for. She really likes you and it shows.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and thank you guys for in the comments section. Thank you for the super chats. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to click the like button. I can't talk no more. Click that thumbs up if you are new here. Shout out to you guys. Definitely click that subscribe. Make sure you click that black notification bell so every time I go live or post anything, you will be the first to know. And definitely comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this interview. But other than that, I will see you later. Thank you, Anthony. Y'all have a great night. We love